I don't think I ever in my wildest dreams could have predicted the speeches that came out of the mouths of the members of the United States government yesterday. I expected this to be kind of a rah, 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 go Republican Party, go MAGA conservatism. Charlie's great. Now let's do our thing. Get back out there and put your red hat on thing with a political rally. And that is not at all the tone that came out yesterday. It was a beautiful, solemn memorial honoring Charlie, grieving with Erica, and making sure the Kirk family knows that we are with her. But almost also like a hold up the mirror introspective moment for the Secretary of War, for the Secretary of Health and Human Services, for the Secretary of State, for the Vice President of the United States, for the President of the United States, to look within themselves and say, I have not been who I want to be. I don't proclaim my faith loudly enough. I don't fearlessly go out into a world rejecting my values and say them anyway enough. I'm afraid of politics. I'm afraid of the political backlash, and never again will I be afraid because of how forever I have been changed because of Charlie Kirk's life and, most recently, his death. I need to be a righteous ruler if I'm serious about using this position that God has given me to impact positive change in the world. The Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, used his time on stage to literally just explain the gospel in a handful of seconds. Listen to this.
I hope one of the things they take from this is that the movement Charlie Kirk led and started and gave fuel to was about politics, but not only about politics. It was deeper, it was broader. And I would say that taking the liberty, but I'm confident he would agree, one of the things he wants us to take away from this, from all of this, is the following. His deep belief that we were all created, every single one of us, before the beginning of time, by the hands of the God of the universe, an all-powerful God, who loved us and created us for the purpose of living with him in eternity. But then sin entered the world and separated us from our Creator. And so God took on the form of a man and came down and lived among us. And he suffered like men. And he died like a man. But on the third day, he rose unlike any mortal man. And then,
listen to those cheers.
And to prove any doubters wrong, he ate with his disciples so they could see, and they touched his wounds. He didn't rise as a ghost or as a spirit, but as flesh. And then he rose to the heaven, but he promised he would return. And he will. And when he returns, because he took on that death, because he carried that cross, we were freed from the sin that separated us from him. And when he returns, there will be a new heaven and a new earth, and we will all be together, and we are going to have a great reunion there again with Charlie and all the people we love. Thank you, and God bless you.
And that response, that standing ovation, those cheers that you can barely hear yourself think over, every single time Jesus Christ was mentioned and the gospel was mentioned yesterday, every time an arena of 73,000 people leapt to their feet, clapping and cheering and giving thanks to God. That's the Secretary of State for the United States of America, in the line for presidency of the United States, using his handful of minutes on stage to honor his friend, someone he had come to know quite closely over the last few years, Charlie Kirk, to not make it about him and to not make it about Charlie, but instead to make it about God. Because that is the ultimate battle that we are fighting, says the Secretary of State of the United States of America. Every speech was this impactful, and again, there was not a dry eye in the house the entire day. I mean, we were just so moved by the Holy Spirit. We could feel tangibly God working in this room, especially for people that had come who might be really interested in politics, but maybe had never been to church before. They'd never heard any of this before. They never heard a worship song before. They had never read the Bible before. They had no idea what any of this meant to them. But you could see in the eyes of people that they would never be the same after powerful, righteous people, righteous rulers, taking their time to empty of themselves and to instead try to serve others and serve God.